The burrow is decked out in festive decorations, with enchanted snowflakes floating near the ceiling and the smell of Mrs. Weasley's famous mince pies wafting from the kitchen. Fred squeezes your hand nervously as you step through the crooked front door, his usual confidence replaced by a boyish hopefulness. "All right, love." Deep breaths. Mum promised not to interrogate you too much about marriage, though I can't speak for Ginny. She's been placing bets with George about when I'll... He cuts himself off abruptly, cheeks turning Weasley red. From the kitchen, Molly Weasley's voice rings out.
"Fred Weasley! Is that you bringing home that lovely girl you won't stop owling about?"
Fred winks at you, whispering, "Told you she'd love you. Ready to meet the Chaos Committee?" He tugs you toward the kitchen where laughter and the clatter of dishes spill into the hallway. The kitchen is a whirlwind of activity. Ginny levitates a string of enchanted garlands while George juggles Christmas pudding ingredients with exaggerated flair. Molly beams at you from the stove, wiping flour-dusted hands on her apron before pulling you into a crushing hug.
"Oh, just look at you. Fred's photos didn't do you justice."
"Mum," he groans, rubbing his neck. "You promised no embarrassing stories until after the roast." "Oh," George abandons the pudding to sling an arm around Fred's shoulders. "So you did tell her about the time you..." "George!" He lunges for his brother, but Ginny intercepts, grinning wickedly as she nudges you toward the table.
"Ignore them. Sit. Tell me everything. Like why Fred's been sneaking off to Hogsmeade alone every weekend."
Her eyes gleam with mischief. Fred freezes mid-scuffle, face paling. His pocket clinks suspiciously. "Ginny, I will end you," Molly gasps.
"Fred Gideon Weasley."
George howls with laughter. Ginny ducks a flying spoon, and Fred shoots you a panicked, pleading look. "Help." The ring box in his pocket digs into your thigh where he's pressed against you. In the chaos, you subtly shift to shield Fred from Molly's wrath, though you can't help but smirk at his panicked expression. The ring box nudges your leg again, practically screaming its presence. George catches your glance downward, and his eyebrows shoot up. "Oi, is that..." He points dramatically between you and Fred's pocket. "Is that..." Fred clamps a hand over George's mouth. "Nothing. Absolutely nothing of your concern, dear brother." Ginny slams her hands on the table, eyes alight.
"Oh, Merlin. Fred's got a ring."
Molly drops her wooden spoon with a clatter. George shouts, "Mum's got the teary eyes. Run, Freddie!" Molly's bottom lip trembles as she lunges for Fred's pocket. Fred ducks behind you. The chaos escalates as Arthur Weasley stumbles in from the garden, arms full of enchanted fairy lights that keep zapping his ears. He spots you and immediately beams, dropping the lights, which promptly tangle around George's ankles.
"Ah, you must be Fred's special someone. Fred's told us so much. Well, except for the important bits, like how you tolerate his nonsense."
"Dad." George, now wrestling with the fairy lights, shouts, "Oi,
Did anyone know that Fred's been secretly taking ring shopping advice from Bill? Because I didn't, and I'm offended."
Fred chokes on air. Ginny snorts pumpkin juice out her nose. Molly clutches her chest like she might faint. "Traitor." Fred hisses at George, then turns to you, wide-eyed. "Love, swear to Merlin, I had a plan, a romantic one." Ron chooses that moment to barge in, holding a half-eaten turkey leg.
Wait, Fred's proposing? That's worse than when Percy tried to...
Everyone shut it. Fred exhales shakily, then drops to one knee right in the middle of the mashed potatoes. "Love," he says, voice cracking. "I was going to do this under the mistletoe later," but he fumbles for the ring box. He drops it and glares at George, who mouths smooth. The kitchen door slams open. Charlie Weasley.
"Did someone say engagement?"
"Well, there goes the moment. I hate this family." The ring rolls toward your foot. The entire Weasley clan holds their breath as the tiny velvet box slides to a stop against your shoe. The plan was fairy lights, carols, maybe a bloody unicorn. He glares at his snickering siblings. "But since my entire family apparently lives to ruin my life..." Molly suddenly bursts into tears.
"My baby's proposing."
Fred's eye twitches. The room erupts into pandemonium. Charlie sweeps you into a bear hug. Molly bursts into tears while threatening Fred with a wooden spoon for ruining the proper proposal, and Arthur starts explaining obscure marriage laws to no one in particular. Through the chaos, Fred locks eyes with you, his expression equal parts exasperated and pleading. For the record, he yells over Ginny's cackling, "This was not how my carefully crafted speech was supposed to go." George snatches the ring off the floor and tosses it to Fred, who catches it with one hand, only for it to slip through his fingers again. He breathes, shoulders sagging in defeat. Charlie, covered in soot from the flu, Scoops up the ring with dragon-calloused hands and inspects it with a whistle.
Nice rock, Freddy. Explains why you owled Bill about goblin-made settings.
Fred finally lifts his head, red-faced, and makes a grab for the ring. Give it back. But Molly intercepts, clutching the ring to her chest with teary eyes.
My baby is proposing. Oh, darling, you must say yes. He's been unbearable ever since he met you. All sighing and staring at your photos like a lovesick.
Mum. He reaches for you instead, your fingers brushing yours desperately, equal parts exasperated and hopeful, the unspoken question hanging in the cinnamon-scented air between you. Charlie strides over and claps Fred so hard on the back it echoes.
Mate, you proposed in Mum's kitchen. Bold.
It wasn't supposed to go like this. He stops himself, takes a deep breath, and grabs your hand. His palms are sweaty. Never mind them. Look, I brought you home because, well, you already are home to me. Fred takes a deep breath, adjusting his grip on the ring. His usual cheeky grin softens into something far more vulnerable. You could say no right now, and I'd just try again tomorrow and the next day, probably during pudding. His voice drops to a whisper meant only for you. Merlin, help me, love. I'm ruined for anyone else. He clears his throat. I had this whole speech planned, something about how you're the only person who laughs at my terrible jokes and how you somehow haven't hexed me into next week yet. But honestly, he exhales, smiling crookedly. I just really want to spend all my Christmases with you. And now I'm just kneeling in gravy and Charlie's got dragon dung on his boots and Merlin's pants. This is not how He stops, takes a deep breath, reaches for your hand. Pretend this is a normal family. Pretend I didn't just kneel in gravy. Love, he takes a deep breath. Marry me anyway. Fred's thumb traces your knuckles, nervous, hopeful, yours. You stare down at the ring, then back up at Fred's face. Suddenly, you burst out laughing. Fred blinks, bewildered, as you wipe tears from your eyes. You stare at Fred, his tousled hair, the gravy stain on his knee, and something warm and unstoppable bubbles up in your chest. The burrow smells like cinnamon and crackling firewood, and his family's laughter wraps around you both like a spell. You don't even have to think.
Yes, you absolute disaster. Of course I'll marry you.
Tugging him up by his collar to kiss him squarely on the mouth, just as George levitates the mistletoe directly over your heads. Fred spins you around, nearly knocking over the Christmas tree before pressing another kiss to your lips. Molly sobs into Arthur's shoulder, already planning the wedding. Ginny high-fives Ron. Charlie tracks dragon dung across the floor, and Fred, your disaster, your chaos, your future husband, grins like he's just won the Quidditch World Cup. Outside, snow begins to fall, soft and bright, over the crooked rooftops of the burrow. The fireplace crackles loudly as Fred tugs you onto his lap on the worn couch, your new ring catching the firelight. Arthur clinks his glass of eggnog against Molly's, eyes twinkling.
To our newest daughter.
Outside, an owl taps at the window with a letter addressed to the future Mrs. Weasley in Percy's painfully neat handwriting. Fred squeezes your waist, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper only you can hear. And that's your first official Weasley family heirloom. Unsolicited advice. The clock on the mantel chimes midnight. Molly's tears turn abruptly to action as she whirls toward the pantry, wand already out.
Arthur, fetch the good china. Ginny, owl Fleur and tell her to bring that French champagne. Ron, stop eating. We're having an engagement feast.
Fred tugs you away from the stampede of Weasleys, backing you into the corner where the family's enchanted clock now proudly displays your face on a new hand, nestled snugly between his and George's. Told you we'd get you on there, he whispers, breath warm against your ear. Still time to make a run for it, he offers cheerfully, even as his fingers lace tighter with yours. I know a bloke with a smuggling compartment in his Ford Ang. Molly's voice carries from the kitchen.
Fred Gideon Weasley. If you're eloping, I swear to Merlin.
Ah, never mind. He grins, pressing his forehead to yours as the burrow's warmth settles into your bones. Looks like you're stuck with us.